Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. This is a indicators analysis, of course, for all indicators that I would like to show you some signals that it might, of course, involve our price action for the next week. This will involve the RSI, the MCAD, and KGT as well, the updated version from KGT and how it's gonna be used. So starting first on the weekly here, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse towards the upside. Of course, this is our cycle here on the weekly, where we are looking at our final wave towards the upside. Now, of course, this final wave is not finished yet. That is for sure, because we are still looking at 1, 2, 3 basically on the weekly chart. What we are looking, of course, and besides the smallest double 1-2s that we are looking at. So basically, we are still looking for some range that it goes up and up, of course, to reach the highest price for Bitcoin that it might have. However, what we are looking at here is, of course, a broken correction with the blue channel, and this is exactly what we would like to see in a wave 5, and of course breaking our acceleration channel inside and start to range, of course, higher and higher. Now the thing is, when we stop, when do we stop, where Bitcoin is leading us to which price? Is it to 100 or is it more than 100, and if it is so, how much? So that would be, of course, this answer would be a completion of those 1-2s here. And by all means, we need to see 4-5s, right? Finishing exactly the same amount of 1-2s. If we have triple, we need to see triple 4-5. Now, what we can say that this might be our finished wave 3, and that because of the volume. What we are looking at here in the volume in our cycle, we are looking, of course, at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that your wave 3 still has the highest amount of volume, right? So if we take here the line taken from that volume here, on the volume there, we can see that we still have some space here, of course, to fill for our fifth wave. However, the last week was, of course, the highest, right? It was the highest amount of volume, and I believe this was the last highest volume. In this week, of course, we're gonna start a new candle, and I don't think that we're gonna reach higher than this. Therefore, it indicates that we are very, very close to finish our fifth wave. And that means somehow that Bitcoin might not reach so far rather than 110 maybe K or 120 maybe, just to finish, of course, those triple 4-5s. Because I believe we have definitely topped here for our wave 3, where we have 1, 2, 1, 2. We have finished a wave 3 already, and now we're looking for 4, 5, 4, 5. So somehow it's gonna be a trend towards the upside, but it's gonna be slow, right? And I doubt that we can really reach a very, very high, because the volume already tells us that this is almost a finished wave 5. Now, almost a finished wave 5 means the wave 3 of your wave 5, because now we start a new candles, which is gonna be lower, of course, a lower volume. However, it doesn't mean that we are not going up, okay? But it's not gonna be intense as we saw the last weeks, the last double weeks, right? So we saw, of course, a very intense prices moving up. Now, I think this we have reached, of course, the top of the wave 3. Inside your wave 5, of course, we still have a little bit to move towards the upside, and this is exactly what the volume tells us. I think it's not really necessarily to move more inside the daily, because it's already given in the weekly very clearly that we have finished already a wave 3 here. So that was for the volume. Now for the RSI, it is also very hard to get a good indication for RSI, because now on the 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart, even the daily, you cannot really see any conversions. So as you can see, the price is ranging. We are in the weekend and there is nothing yet to mention, right? It's all, as you can see, the price action is going into a triangle consolidation, and it's the same for the RSI, right? So that was on the 1 hour chart. On the 4 hour chart, it is almost, there is no really convergence and divergence. The only thing that you will find is on the weekly. And on the weekly, you can find here exactly this convergence, divergence actually, taken from the top here of the wave 3 and this from your wave 5. What you would like to see, of course, for your wave 5, that the RSI moves start to slow down, make a curve. Of course, it's not going to be a perfect curve. Maybe it's going to be somehow like this, and then moving down. And this is going to be, of course, for your wave 4, 5, 4, 5, basically, because your wave 3 should be the highest also amount on your RSI. And here we go. This is the divergence that it has started clearly to show up for us, and that bring us, of course, the scenarios of the ending of that wave 5. So it tells us also do not expect really very, very high prices. I think that Bitcoin is aiming, of course, for the 100K. Now, how much higher over the 100K? I think few thousand and not so much. In case, of course, we got. So this was for the RSI. Now, to check something else, the MACD, for example, let's go to the MACD. Here we go. So on the MACD, of course, we are still looking at very, very high amount of buyers, right? As you can see, and we can see a very clearly bullish cross, right, on the weekly, and very intense move towards the upside. However, I don't think so that it's gonna really keep it up just like moving up like this. What I believe is it's gonna make kind of like sideways range after this. I don't think that it's gonna really move higher with a big candle. I think that it's gonna start to range sideways while this is moving up. So it's gonna also create a divergence with your volume, and that, of course, will bring us a little bit closer to the top of Bitcoin. On the daily chart, what we can see already, as you can see, we start to see a light color, right? Where we might start to see, of course, a fall down a little bit, but it's not really fall down. It's gonna be a correction, right? But I do not expect that this is going higher again. I think for the next days, we're gonna see 4 5s, and it's gonna end up somehow with 100K, 105K, and then I think we're gonna start a bearish run, right? So this was for the MACD. Now, the last one is the KGT. So the KGT indicator, now, of course, I have updated this indicator very, very well. Of course, the last version, you saw many numbers going on here, but of course, now these numbers are still existing. But now I just made it like you can just simply get a signal with a buy and sell. But these are, of course, much more for scalping. This works, the buy and sell works much more for scalping. So for example, on the 1 minute chart, you can get some signals, of course, where you have to sell, for example, right? So it gives you exactly the signal where possibly you can sell. You can even have a signal strength for the sell. For example, you get the 4, which is the strongest signal. Now, these are the exclamation point, of course, are something to get ready for a sell, because we're getting closer to a sell, for example. And then you will get a signal sell exactly over this candle, where it tells you, of course, this is the strongest sell. Now, of course, this is based all on calculation of volume between buyers and sellers, which are entering per second in the market, guys. Because as I told you always, that the market can change at any minute, and this is exactly what I mean with it. Now you can get some, of course, buying, and those gray means a kind of like reversal, all right? When you see a gray arrow, that might mean that, of course, it's a reversal, and as you can see, we're down and then it reversed, right? So this is the indicator what it shows. Now, this is much more for scalping, of course. It is for the 1 minute, 3 minute chart, 30 seconds even. It can be used. Now, for higher charts, of course, you need to move to different strategy here. And what we are looking at, of course, now, of course, it still can tell you somehow where is the buy and the strong signal, but it's not so efficient as when you work on it on the 1 minute. Therefore, I don't give here so much for this indicator like as I do for looking at the volume. So when you look a little bit on the bigger chart, you would like to look a little bit much more on the percentage of the volume. So as you can see on the 1 hour chart, the volume has started to move negatively. Yeah. And when you see at the last candle that it gives us a negative and you start to see nothing after it, it means now it starts to reverse. And if you can see, it was minus 16, and now it became minus 5. And that means, of course, the volume has started to grow, right? Because from minus 16 to minus 5, that means now the volume has started to grow, and here we go. You can see after it, of course, some green candles. And yeah, if you would like to see more information, of course, you can get for example, the normal percentage. So this is the highest percentage always. For example, I put it in orange. The medium percentage, for example, it can be in yellow. And here we go. You can start to see some medium, which is almost less than 3%. But look here, it was minus, and suddenly, because you see it was coming from minus 8 to minus 4, that means, of course, we are growing. I know that it's go down, but we have to see that the volume is growing up now. Now, once you get this candle, you get with it a 2.72. And that means, of course, the volume is increasing, right? Yeah, so this is how these indicators show based on volume, of course. Now you see an increase 2.29, right? And that means this next candle is going to be a little bit higher, of course. And here we go. We are looking at it already, moving towards the upside. Now, what it gave us once this candle finish, if it give us a volume less than this volume, therefore, of course, this is going to be a bearish signal. Not a bearish, I mean, because, of course, we are on the 1 hour chart, but it's going to give us like, yeah, a red candle. If we see lower volume than this on this candle once it is closed. So, yes, this is how this indicator now works. Of course, for the 1 hour and the 4 hour chart as well, you can see the same. You can get even much clearer volume here. Oh, wow. Okay, on the 4 hour chart, we see something interesting. Okay, I zoom out just to collect all the information, because if you zoom out, you collect all the volume in these candles, and it gives you almost the total of it. Here we go. So now these 4 candles, it says, okay, we're going with minus 3.51. So yeah, as you can see, it's going down and down, so it's negative, right? If you want to even get more information, you even can get the weak signals. Sometimes it can be also helpful to estimate what is going on step by step. You see here minus 2.7, then the volume went up 2.27, so you see it that it started going up, right? And this is for our chart now, that if that it was taking a trade from this point, then you trade all of this, yeah? And that is a big one, of course, if you are trading here. Of course, trading is a long-term or mid-term strategy here. And as you can see, the volume, of course, has started to it's not really interesting. Like once you see this candle giving you 0.34, well, it's not really big difference. Yeah, I don't see like a huge volume. And don't forget, these are weak signals with this color. What you would like to see is orange signals, right? Is orange and yellow and maybe blue sometimes for weaker signals. But yeah, the orange are very significant signals that you can rely on, where you can see, of course, higher amount of volume or lower amount of volume. Now, what does it tell us? Looking at these volumes from the top here, from the arrow, even from the bearish signal, which is the most important thing that you have to look at as well, not only the volume. You can see that, of course, we reach a very, very high with this candle, 25%, and suddenly we got a minus 16. That means a lot of traders has sold in this candle, and they were still selling, and etc. Right? So we are still looking at minus. We don't see any significant signal for bullish actually, because all your volume mostly are negative. Therefore, we are still looking for lower prices on the 4-hour chart as well. And yeah, so this is how we can estimate exactly. This indicator has been before it was giving only those arrows without any significant numbers, or even significant signal that we can say, okay, we can sell from here. So for example, here you see the last arrow, you see a very, very high amount of volume of buyers and suddenly very, very high amount of sellers. And that means exactly with this arrow signal, it tells you, of course, that we are going bearish. And this is exactly what happened. Now, of course, we start to see some consolidations. This is the weekend, very normal. Tomorrow, we're going to see what's going to happen, what changes in volume are going to be. Now, the beautiful thing is on the daily, also it shows you something really nice where, okay, it tells you that, okay, the volume is very low now. There is no significant candles, daily candles. However, sometimes it gives you some very significant volume once the daily candle closes, and it shows you, of course, the next daily candle that it might be low or higher. However, KGT now shows a little bit on the 4-hour chart that we're moving down with a lower volume. So we are still looking, of course, for lower prices. And if we want to see how this works with Elliott wave, of course, we are looking now. As yesterday I told you, we still have maybe a chance here for a bullish scenario, right, for a wave 5. But that did not really work, right, because we have invalidated, right? Yesterday I made a video, I said, okay, we might go up, and we did, but suddenly it went and it has invalidated this scenario, which is not really nice to see. So yeah, by all means, we are looking at a longer correction, and that means, of course, we are looking still for lower prices, right? And we are looking, of course, to hit at least the 0.23 to confirm this correction is done. So I prefer here to remove this scenario, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stick with our X here, WXY, where we still are looking for it. And I think we are moving towards a Y, and your Y is gonna move, of course, downside. So that was it for Bitcoin price prediction for the indicators. And of course, based on Elliott wave analysis, Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments and likes. See you in the next one. Bye bye.